Hello, hello, hello. Hello from California. My goodness. So glad to see you. Those of you new to the work today, what we do together in this community is identify the cause of all of our suffering. We identify what we're thinking and believing about the world, about him, her, them. We identify those thoughts, we move them from our head to paper, and then we question them. And questioning our thoughts it's a meditative process. It's an exercise in stillness. For example, as I recall a time when, what was it? Oh, I'm going to leave it to you. What's going on? Any questions? Any worksheets? Let's see. Sabina.
Hello, Katie.
Hi, Sabina.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, what's going on?
Kind of that nothing is going on, that I'm just stuck in the same issue and I'm just not able to resolve it.
Yeah.
And I just experience like pain and fear.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
And like the fear is that I don't get out of this, and then my whole...
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, and I write this. And I wanted to ask you if you could help me to work this worksheet. I'm just writing the same worksheet over and over, and I just don't get over it.
Well, it takes a willingness.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, It takes a willingness, Sabina. It takes a real willingness to be free, not to get what you want unless it's freedom from the suffering you experience around this. If that's what you want, we can do that. If that's not what you want, then we can't, because it takes a very open mind. So let's hear what is number one on your worksheet.
I'm hurt with him because he accuses me of stalking.
Okay. He accused you of stalking. What is the situation?
The situation is we had 10 years of relationship, and then he had an affair. And then one day I said, I cannot do this anymore. I want to talk to you and clarify this relationship. And it ended up, he cycled home first. He was inside the door. I was outside the door. And we texted 2 hours over the door. And I asked him, why are you not letting me in? What do you have against peace? I just want to talk to you, clarify this relationship. And since then, he called the police. Like, I was outside the door. I heard the bell. It was 11 at night. And I was like, oh, he really called the police. Yeah. And since then, he accuses me of stalking. Like, there are several situations in his corridor.
And do you stalk him? I know some of the history.
Say again?
I'm familiar with some of that history. Do you stalk him? Have you stalked him?
No.
And as you were standing on the door, outside the door, banging on the door, not going away, would that be considered stalking? I don't know.
No.
And he didn't want you there at the door. And you continued. He wouldn't let you in, and you continued. He accuses you of stalking. On number one, that's what you wrote. So he accuses you of stalking. Is it true that he accuses you of stalking? Now you look at all your proof. Has he filed lawsuits and restraining orders and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
Yes.
He accuses me of stalking. Is it true? Sitting in your situation, yeah, it's a yes.
Yeah.
A history of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sweetie. Yeah. How do you react? What happens when you think the thought? He accuses me of stalking. What images do you see in your head when you think that thought? In that situation where you're so upset over this?
Well, now I just see these images like in the corridor. I see me from outside, him standing there, how he calls the police. He says, my stalker is here. Then the police asks, is it your wife? And he says, no. And I see when he threatened me with a knife, I see the court order. I see how it is so clear at the court that I'm not accusing him of stalking, and I disprove everything he says.
And yet
Like
the judge, and yet what does the judge say?
The
when
judge,
you offer off your proof and he offers up all his proof, what does the judge say when he looks at those restraining orders and the police showing up?
the judge just asked him, do you want a relationship or not, to Andre? And then it's clear that I'm stalking him, and he doesn't, like, all the proofs I give are like water. He dismisses everything.
Well, when the judge asked him, what is his answer? What is Andres' answer?
Well, his words were no, but his emotion is that he's very suffering and in pain and very resistant, and like I feel like, yeah, like a child who is like a 2-year-old toddler with like.
What did the judge say in that situation where Andres was accusing you of stalking? Was the judge's final order? What did he determine? She.
That I cannot, for the rest of life, I'm not allowed to contact him or anyone he knows.
Yes, honey. So just.
And we are.
Yeah. So just feel that, that's what the law determined in that situation. So take it in. Take it in. He accuses me of stalking. Turn it around. I accuse me of stalking him. Just try it on, even though it may feel a little weird. I accuse me of stalking him. Now look at your thoughts before you do anything like that. You've got a lot of experience in this.
So I accuse me of stalking. Like, I noticed the longer this case goes, I get totally confused as well if they are right or not. And I get like a sling around my neck. Like, did I really do that?
Yes, honey. And
It's
that's
so horrible.
yes.
And
Oh, honey, yes. That's hard.
yeah, it feels like killing me, and like it feels like all our relationship is like gone. I feel like treated like we never had a relationship. Like, he doesn't know me, I don't know him.
Yeah, and you see images of you stalking and you feel scared, guilty, like you did it wrong,
Yeah, and I feel like I'm totally getting.
I'm trying to paraphrase what you were saying.
I'm getting confused about myself. Like, it's like I don't know the truth myself anymore, because like everyone has this opinion and I feel like I'm the only one who has a different opinion.
Yeah. And have you stalked him? Yes. Yes. And as I'm listening to you, it hurts you. because you stalk him and you regret it. I experienced, I witnessed the guilt as you were sharing that with us.
So in my experience, I don't stalk him because what I see is that we are in a relationship and we had the agreement to be open and honest to each other and like do good to each other and not hurt anyone, harm anyone.
So
And it's like,
he changed his mind. He takes legal measures to keep you from entering into his life. So he accuses me of stalking. Turn around, I accuse me of stalking. And you were very clear about that. And your emotional showed a lot of what you experienced around that. It was not easy. It was hard. It was
it's a nightmare.
Desperate acts. Desperate acts, knowing how he would react. He accuses me.
I was expecting that eventually he would get to insight and be open to talk, because even now we have a conflict and I just don't understand why he's not willing to talk and resolve the conflict. Like, it's not understandable to me.
Yeah, it could be like when he wants to end a conversation or relationship, you will not acknowledge it. And so that could be why he is so, why he is like that. Let's look at number 2. What do you want in that situation where you're hurt and he's accusing you of stalking?
I want him to talk to me.
Okay. Now, Sabina, I'm going to ask you a very serious question, okay? And I want you to go just really contemplate it. Okay? You want him to talk to you. Look at everything that's happened. And it's not what he wants. He's been very clear for 10 years. You want him, if you love him, if you care about him, acknowledge everything he's done to separate his life from you. You want him to talk to you. Is it true? And remember that the answer is yes or no. And you've always been a yes, in your alone time. You really believe it, you're attached to it. But let's really look more closely. It's not what he wants. He's been clear. Time's in court. And him not responding.
Mm.
You want him to talk to you. Is it true? Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still want it. Like, I'm talking to a psychologist who's a friend in India, and he told me like stop talking of him, like just ground yourself and call him the devil. Like, do you want to talk to the devil? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he is someone that just doesn't want a relationship with you anymore. No matter how much you love him, it's not what he wants.
So why would he not tell him in person? That's like just the minimum of respect.
It could be because the courts have been so clear all this time. I mean, it's clear he doesn't want it. Sabina, notice how you react. Notice what happens in your life when you think the thought, I want him to talk to me. Notice those images of the past when you think the thought, I want him to talk to me.
Well, I see like how I'm trying to talk to him, and then this situation escalates more and more, and I get more and more in fear. And then especially when they put me to the mental health hospital, there was like a flip.
Yeah.
And I'm just like stuck in fear. Like I cannot even go there anymore because I'm so scared of the police and the mental health hospital. And like I just don't ever want to experience that again. And I'm scared of more people. I'm scared of the police. I'm scared of the judges. I'm scared of the psychiatrists.
Okay. Now, what you have just shared here, what you just shared, who would you be without the thought? Who would you be without the thought, I want to talk to him? When you consider what you just shared with us, you're terrified of mental hospitals, of going to jail, of going to court, of all of that. All of that. Who would you be without the thought, I want to talk to him? Imagine your life, Sabina. You are one of the smart, you are smart, you are talented, you're an amazing woman. I'm not just saying that. You've got degrees. Imagine your life without the thought, I want him to talk to me.
I would be free.
Okay, so now get quiet. Imagine your life without it. It's been such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So slow it down. No more worry about hospitals. No more worried about going to jail. Mental hospitals by force.
Like if I could really let that thought go, I could just...
Don't even let it go. Just imagine your life without the thought, I want him to talk to me. Look at the landscape.
I would focus what is in front of me.
Yeah, now here comes, I'm hearing wisdom now. Wisdom. Who are you without the thought, I want him to talk to me? Notice how freed up your head would be. All the space in your head that he
Again?
All the space open in your head, all that space that he is occupying, that your ego just throws in there. Imagine without that ego twist, it just drops. The ego stops. Without the thought, I want him to talk to me, that's ego. Notice your life, the space in your head, the space in your world, space in your life.
It gets bigger. I still have like a clinch in me, like...
Because honey, you've been attached to this. You're into winning and losing. You're into winning and losing, and you've got experience with this guy. He's not into winning and losing. He's very clear what he wants, and he knows how to go about it without laying a finger on you. He reaches out for his citizen rights to live his.
So to me, what is not...
Oh, honey, you're phasing out. Your internet is phasing out your sound.
So to me, what is not right is like just this. Can you repeat?
Your sound is better. It was cutting out.
Yeah, exactly.
So stay in question 4. Don't notice how your mind just popped out into defense. So that space is being filled up. That is a threat of everything you fear, like the hospitals, the jail sentencing, the warrants, all of that. Notice how your mind just popped back in and go back to who are you without the thought, I want him to talk to me. Yeah, just look around the room.
Yeah.
That's all the life any of us get, other than what we're thinking and believing. It's life. There are walls and ceilings. There are skies and clouds and trees. People living their own lives. And you bring you back. Notice how you're living yours. There's no one coming to haul you away against your will.
What does haul you mean?
Take you away against your will. To jail if you break the law again, or to a hospital if you're just determined to talk to someone that isn't gonna have it.
Who would I be without this thought?
Yeah. So notice you're leaning against the wall, it looks like from here. Notice the wall is supporting you. That's what you want from him, and there it is. And whatever you're sitting on, that's supporting you. But you don't acknowledge it. You just want his support, but you've got support, and it's not complaining. It's there for you, whatever you're sitting on, and the air that you breathe. Oh, sweetie, it's such a friendly universe, and you've got this one thing that he won't allow. We all have our earth school.
Yeah, exactly what you want, what I want, he's not giving me.
Yeah. Or exactly what you think you want, but probably what you want is to win in the end, like it's some kind of contest.
It's not winning, it's I want peace, and I want to have that we have a good relationship, like, yeah, peace.
No, there's no we there. He won't have it. He's proven that to you over a decade now. There's no we there. That's your ego just flying around in your head. Not right, not wrong, just notice it, but that's not him. That's a state of mind. He is your state of mind. There's who you believe him to be, and then there's the real him.
Yeah, and I'm confused about that.
Yeah, so you might join him. And one way to do that is, who would you be without the thought, I want him to talk to me? That would put you both on the same page in the same life.
Without that song. I really don't know. It's like my identity.
It is, honey. Yeah. And you're not alone. You know, we all have our thing.
It feels like I need to break reality.
Yeah, like you're some kind of magician or god, or it's like I want done, and no one's gonna stop me. Not the law, not all those meds they shoot you with in the hospital, not without the restraints that hold you down. Would you
So
be?
the law is also confusing for me because there's the law and there's the judge. And in my judgment, the judge doesn't obey the law, and not the Swiss law.
Honey, I get that. Anyone that opposes you on your way to him, you don't approve of.
No, I don't. Yeah.
And and that'll throw you in the hospital again. That'll throw you in jail again, but that's not on him. You know, it's required of the ego when you're believing what you think. I want him to talk to me, turn around. I don't want him to talk to me. Give me an example. Why is it that you would not want him to talk to you?
Like in this state of mind, like all what I
No,
experience.
I want you to just stop, okay? Get really still and answer the question. I mean, and give your response. I want him to talk to me. I don't want him to talk to me. So give me an example of why you would not want him to talk to you if you really cared about him.
He tells me I'm stalking him. He wants to kill me. He doesn't want to replace my laptop. He breaks.
Yeah. Who wants that guy? That's who he is. I want him to talk.
I don't want him to talk to me because he's torturing me. I don't want to him to talk to me because maybe I can really move forward into something better. I don't want him to talk to me because maybe we couldn't resolve this issue together. Because it was just too painful. I was even trying to go back, like if I wouldn't have wanted to talk to me at the very first beginning, like when we met.
Let's stay in the work. You know, not that that isn't valid what you were going to say, but let's just stay in the question. And who are you without the thought, I want him to talk to me? Without that running in your head, without him running in your head, who are you without the thought, I want him to talk to me? I mean, there's not even any him to talk to you if he's not in your head. So notice your life when you're not thinking, I want him to talk to me.
I feel peace. I feel relieved. There are moments where I'm kind of okay, but there's still
that's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's just
so you're so focused on this. There's got to be a term for it in psychology. I'm not even, you know, I don't know. I don't have any training there whatsoever, but I know the cause of suffering and how to end it. I understand that.
Well, that's what I want. That's all I want.
Who would you be without the thought, I want him to talk to me? You know, when he talks to you, he just says, go away, and calls the police. I want him to talk to me. Why? So he can call
Yeah.
me again, so he can have me arrested again. And then you fight, and then they commit you. Imagine your life without the thought, I want him to talk to me. That's just like saying, I want to. It's like you want a cat to bark like a dog, you know. But cats say meow.
I have in my mind like how he can talk so well, and he can say 2 words and the whole world is perfect again. Like he really had this word talent.
You know, honey, I have no doubt that anyone you're in love with isn't extraordinary. I have no doubt. It's just that this man does not want a relationship with you
Anymore. Like he had one.
I want him to talk to me in that situation when you want him to talk to you.
I want me to talk to me.
Big time. You want to go to jail, you want to be committed. Talk to you. Talk to you. Talk to you.
So what means talking to?
The way I talk to me is I move my head to paper. There are my thoughts.
Then I keep writing the same thoughts. Like he accuses me of stalking. I want him to talk to me.
Well, he does accuse you of stalking because you do. And if you're not doing it physically, you're doing it in your head. You're imagining, how can I see him? How can I talk to him? How can I get in touch with him? That's stalking. That's internal stalking. Then you live it out.
So if I stalk him, it means he ghosted me. Because he never split up from me. So how can I stalk him?
The first time he pulled a warrant on you, he was talking to you. He's saying no more. Very clearly, very clearly. Okay,
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie.
Can you repeat that? Mm-hmm.
He has, I guess I can't, honey. Let's look at 3. But we can send you this so that you can hear it again. So let's look at 3.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. He should come here.
He should.
And talk to me, explain why he does.
Okay.
And tell me whether he wants to continue this relationship or not. In peace, like with a different state of mind, of emotion.
No, that doesn't work with you. He's tried that. That doesn't work with you. He has tried that. It doesn't work with you. You argue him down. He doesn't want to be with you. You want him to be with you. Those are differences that's the differences you two share. And it's a hard one, Sabina. It's a hard one. It's just, I'm not guessing. Look at the history. It's not what he wants. He should come here and talk to you and explain why he left, turned around and take this in. I should come here out of his business, get out of his business mentally. I should come here, get present, talk to me and explain why he left me. And that's a living turnaround. That is your homework on the other side of our time together. To meditate in why he left you. And nothing is going to heal you other than the truth in you that your ego wants to argue with. The answers are there, and you've got a very well-fed ego. It has been winning lot of years, for a lot of years. So be gentle. Don't try to kill it. Just be gentle and loving as you do this work and stay with it. I
So
should
before
in my head and talk to me and explain to me why he left.
he told me he doubts our relationship because he thinks I need a family.
You know, that's his. I want you to live your turnaround. And the reason I say I want you to is because it's so powerful. Self-reflection is so powerful that it even allows me to sit with you and to know you. That's the kind of miracle that this work has given.
Yeah.
I should come here out of his business, if I'm you, and talk to me and explain to me why he left and be honest with it. And it gives you a whole other way of not repeating it in your life and world. Enlightenment. He should tell you if he wants a relationship.
To continue the relationship or not.
But honey, he has for 10 years. He has. Through the court system, through restraining, or he has. So when you turn that around, just imagine who you'd be in your life without that thought. He should tell me if he wants a relationship or not. Because it disappears when you get in touch with he's made it very clear. So he is the answer to your prayer. He has made it clear. You wrote this.
Can you say again? Sorry.
He should tell you if he wants a relationship or not. And he has made that very clear. So you can just drop that one because you have what you think you wanted. He's been very clear.
I sometimes think that, yeah.
Look at any paperwork you've got and look what he filed, and there's him telling you why you okay, so let's look at 4 in that situation.
I need him to be happy and I need him to love me.
You need him to be happy. Is that true?
I feel fear. Mm.
Yeah, it's really scary, honey. You've been in some kind of prison for a long time. It's a him prison, and it's really scary. So I understand that kind of fear. You need him to be happy. Is it true?
Yes.
And how do you react when you think the thought, I need him to be happy?
I see all this violence. I see him, how he's like outraged, how he lies, how he calls the police, tells them I had a knife last time. I see all this, and I see how he was totally different, like how he has this capacity of being happy and joyful, and how he just changed 180 degrees. And
I can see that in my mind's eye as you were sharing it. That's
and
honey.
then I
radical.
see like
No, just be there.
And I see my fear, like I feel like I cannot hold him. and how I like shame myself that, for example, in that knife situation, why did I not just take the knife out of his hand and take him by my hand and say, now we talk together in quiet? Why was I too scared? Why did I go away and back off?
Because he had a knife. There's your answer. Why did you get scared and back away? He had a knife, Sabina. So you can thank yourself for that.
Yeah.
You saved you. You need him to be happy.
Oh, it's such a mental prison. I see letters, like the last letter I got from court. I asked him if he would replace me my laptop he destroyed. And then his lawyer, he sends a letter that mixed up story. We were together 2010 till 15, since 18 I'm stuck.
He was a no. He was a no. Notice when you start going into a story, and notice as you sit in self-inquiry, you can be aware of things like you just said in silence, and then notice just to come back to you need him to be happy and to love you. We're not talking about other men, we're talking about him.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
I also see how I'm confused if I kind of have a little bit like a spark that he's happy with this situation. I see a little spark of happiness in him in this whatever.
Yeah, probably those spaces where he's not thinking about you at all, he's happier because he connects so much violence with it. I don't know, but you can sit in it, and you certainly are informed in the situation of your own life with him and without him. To be happy, you need him to be happy. He wants no relationship with you. So let's turn it around and see what you can have, okay? To be happy, I need me to love me. That's what you wrote. I need him to be happy and to love me. Turned around, I need me to be happy and to love me. Sabina, tell me something that if he loved you, what would he say or do? Give you back your laptop. Give you back your laptop. Okay, turn it around. Go get a laptop. Oh, you've done that.
I did.
You're a good friend. That gives you a whole life.
He would say like, thank you for the time, and I love you, and I wish you all the best.
Okay, so get quiet and say exactly that.
So thank you for the time, and I love you, and I wish me all the best.
Yeah. You don't have to tell him that. You've just given him that. And if you really meant it, it will free your heart. It will keep you connected in a way that doesn't require him. Just requires your love for him. It's like if something happened to Stephen, it doesn't stop me from loving him. And if something happened to Stephen, like death, he's gone from me in the way we humans see it. But he lives here, dead or alive, in my mind. And if my mind is in tune with love, thoughts are in tune with love. And I feel that, and I see him, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's my Stephen.
So when I see these images, though, of the past, I feel more fear than love. I think I'm not honest if I say I love you.
Wow.
Not any.
Wow.
Not anymore. Like, I'm just so angry at him.
Well, no, you're angry, not at him. You're angry at the him in your head. That's not him, Sabina.
Yeah, that's right.
For me to be happy, I need to be happy. I need him to be happy. I need my thinking about him to be happy. Not just something that'll send you into a psych ward and a jail cell.
So my thoughts about
to be happy, I need me to love me. Because that's something not even Stephen can give me. To be happy, I need me to love me.
like, how do I do this with this talking thing?
I can't love me if I'm hurting other people. And it hurts him when you contact him to the point he just turns it over to authorities. Just know that's what he's going to do. That's his pattern. You contact him, that's on you if they lock you up. I need him to be happy, and I need me to be happy.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
Mentally stay out of his business, who he loves, who he should live with, who he should appreciate. And that's not your laptop anymore. That's his. He has possession. And you've got a better computer. Let's look at 5. You know, honey, you've also written there, to be happy, I need me to love me. So what is one? Give me an example of what you love about you. One thing you love and admire about yourself.
I was searching you. I was just searching for the best teacher in the world to understand what's happening here. And I did my best. Like, I was always trying to resolve this situation. And I stopped working when I felt like this is not a situation I can work in anymore. I first need to resolve this. I was learning. I learned a lot about law, justice. I learned words. I was Googling a lot of words.
See, honey, that's loving you. You're collecting knowledge. You're a very smart woman, very talented woman.
I'm much more open-minded to people. I can see like the love and the goodness in many people.
Yes.
I also have a vision that this world can change and be better, and like everything turns towards love. Like, I'm so happy what's happening in Syria and so many other things, which I just find like, yeah, there's power in people to change this world to something better.
Wow. So there's that mind of yours. It's alive. It's alive and well, loving and caring. And when the thought of him enters your head, you're in dangerous territory.
Yeah.
So thank him for sharing, keep the laptop, and come home. Living turnarounds. I need me to be happy and to love me. I need me to come here and to talk to me and explain to me why he left me so I don't have to repeat it again.
Yeah. Yeah. If I would find this, yeah. He met another woman. That's what I can see.
Well, you wanted him to be happy.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. So let's look at 5. In that situation,
He is totally confused,
read
violent.
your words.
He's totally confused, absent, violent, unhappy. Just okay that he doesn't have to make a change.
He's absent. Is it true?
No.
No, he has about 99% of your head. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, since like 8 years.
And it's crazy making because that's not him. That's imagination offered up by the ego. That's not even him you're loving or wanting to talk to. That's not even him. It's ego fiction in your head.
Yeah.
You can't take that thought of him out of your head and talk to him. It's imagination, ego's world.
Yeah. And what I see right now, it's not a nice him.
He's totally confused, turned around. He's totally clear when it comes to you. Give me an example.
No, he's a clear no. He just refuses everything.
Standing in it, immovable.
Yeah.
Got the law on his side, medical community on his side. Honey, you are tied up, and that is some kind of blessing. It will bring you back into your life. He's totally confused, turned around. I'm totally confused.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I don't know if it's true I stalk him or not. Like, I have this like, I love him. I don't. Like, I have this, how you call it, opposites, like, all the time discussing in my head.
That's duality. That's the world. This work is about anchoring into love without opposite. Totally confused, turn around, I'm totally confused. Anytime he hits your head, you're totally confused. You think that's him in your head, and you even think that's you in your head. Those are images. Those are not people. Those are not people. That's ego.
So what I notice, like, when I think of me, I often see me like from outside, and I don't really have a clear image. It's like I just see parts. So it's like I notice it's not me, but then I look at my body, like, here I am. Like, it's totally confusing.
Well, no, it's not confusing. What you said is very clear. One is real and one is not. So you're not confused. You know the difference. You just shared it with us.
Yeah.
And in any time you may be confused, just notice anything that is past and future is not now. And ultimately,
Yeah.
nothing is. But these are, he is violent, turned around.
He's kind, gentle.
And he takes care of it through legal advantage.
So what is weird is like, even that first time he called the police, like when he's me, I experience in him like a panic attack, and then he calls the police, and then he's very calm and
Well, yeah,
at
he's
peace at him
called
or
for
something.
help. He's relieved. He called the police because you're frightening and you won't stop. And you don't listen to him when he tells you he doesn't want a relationship. And then the way you react, he calls the police. And of course he's relieved. He's got some help to back him. He is violent, turned around in that
I'm violent.
situation. Yeah, I am violent. So why would he be holding a knife? In that situation, you are violent.
Okay, at this time, there was this restraining order, and I was going beyond like that line. Could see that at violent. It's hard for me because I don't
For him,
see me.
it's like he has a past in his head too, and it calls for protection. And I don't get because you're violent, sweetheart. I get because you just won't take no for an answer and you never give up on a hopeless case. And him being with you is a hopeless case. So when he sees you coming, he's he just may have the police the police department just on speed dial, just seeing you coming.
So he never told me he doesn't want a relationship. And
Yes,
before,
he has. Yes, he has. Every time he filed a lawsuit. Yes, he has. No one did that for him. He filed it. He signed it.
that's right, yeah, but not in person. Like he
Oh,
never.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He had people sending you what he thought, and you signed for them.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. So he has told you.
So, like, I'm totally confused about me because when he told me he was married before me, and he told me over years, don't have any hopes. I'm only gonna marry once, and I won't have any children. So
Okay.
if he would want to be with this woman, he could just refer to this, and I would have so happy.
Let's come back to the worksheet because that's where we're gonna find some freedom. Discussions just so often, more than not, just solidify the ego's world. People disagree with me, and just I've got to set them right, and here's how it was. So what it is I'm just affirming unquestioned thoughts in my head, just giving strength to the ego. Defense is the first act of war. And you are in full defense when he hits your brain. And what is your brain doing? Let's look at number 5. He is absent. Is it true?
No.
No, he lives in
He
you.
files he files these cases.
Lives in you, but that's not him. And you keep thinking it is. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's the way of the world until we wake up to something different. But that is not him. Like I think of Stephen right now, but for all I know, I'm aware that that is not Stephen. That's imagination. I think, oh, Stephen and I, this and that, and I can talk about it, but it's the ego playing off of an image. And it's only right because there is no past and future other than in our heads. This world is an illusion. He's an illusion. He's in your head. And that's not him. That's not him. He is unhappy. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true he's unhappy?
Yes.
And how do you react when you think the thought he's unhappy? And you see you as the solution. Wow.
I try to explain the lawyer hundreds of times. Look, the situation is we have a war. Can we please talk together and resolve it?
Well, the answer to that over and over and over and over and over from him is no.
Yes.
And you're learning that the hard way. Learning it the hard way, Sabina.
Yeah.
And honey,
I am.
So
why am I so stupid?
Honey, it's not stupid. It's just ego driven. It's ego driven. We're ego. I mean, you really are believing these thoughts. That's the driving thing. Ego is nothing until you believe. Belief. The word believe for me is a term for attachment. You see these images and your thoughts onto them, and you believe it. You become that. Oh, that you believe you to be. Okay, sweetie, he's unhappy, turned around. He's happy when you are not contact him. His life is happy when you are not contacting him. Now, you could be the best friend he's ever had or ever will have. You could be the best human being he could ever live with or love. But that's not where he's at. And that's not something you can ever prove to him. He does not want to talk to you. He does not want to. He wants no part of it. And the next time, if there were ever a next time, and he's someone that will come after you with a knife or protect himself with a knife, you don't want that. It wouldn't be just going in and out of jail. It could be like murder one because of your history with him. He doesn't want to see you. You show up at his door, something happens, and selfishly, then you cost me someone I care about, and that is you. And a lot of us do.
I just still don't understand how this relationship went. Like,
there is no relationship other than the one in your head, Sabina. You won't have it.
I feel like he still holds me emotionally on the line.
No, that's not him. That is the him in your head, and that is not him. Good that you would understand the difference between the illusion and reality. And what I call first generation.
Hmm. Oh, I so have this resistance. It's like incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, just notice, honey. Just notice.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like pain and fear.
Yeah. It's, you
But
know,
just being trapped in the air. I feel like I cannot go anywhere, but I feel like in a prison.
yeah. Yeah, the prison of the mind. Even in prison, it's the prison of the mind, not the prison itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
When he's in my head, look at number 5, I am totally confused. I confuse, you confuse the image of him in your head with him. And it couldn't be crazier. That is not him. That's imagination. Like yesterday, I ate a big juicy red apple. Did you just see it?
Yeah.
That's a trance. It's false. It's not an apple. That was not me. And that is not him in your head. It's an apple.
Yeah.
Honey, let's look at number 6.
I don't ever want to be accused of stalking.
I'm willing to.
I'm willing to be accused of stalking.
Yes, because when your mind goes back to how awful that was for you. It's a worksheet. I'm willing to be accused of stalking. I look forward to being accused of stalking in my head. In my head, because if it bothers you,
Ugh.
it's another worksheet. You need a little more enlightenment each time, every time you're suffering. It's a worksheet. It's the kind of medicine that no one can give us other than ourselves.
Yeah, like this stalking accusation is like killing. It's really like, this is not who I am. It's like the exact opposite.
Yes, honey, it is. It's who you are without the thought. You know, I want him to talk to me. Turned around, I want me to talk to me. It's like, come home. I'm nowhere when I'm thinking of him. I'm nowhere. I mean, if you're in the kitchen, it just kind of disappears, and it's all about this trance you're in of him.
Yeah. I
And
think it's this trauma. I'm like stuck in this past.
yes, honey. Yeah. And it's not even the past, it's the past now. It appears to be. But until it's cleared up
Yeah.
and accepted the way that we have all of us sitting with you today, you know, we trance too. We don't trance on purpose. It's the ego's attempt to live as object I. And it's got to prove I am this, with images of past and future. But those you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't prove.
So I am still, like, after all this, I am still confused. Did I stalk him or not?
Well, you stalk him every time he's in your head. You're stalking him. He doesn't know it. He doesn't feel it.
Okay.
Stalking him. You're so far out of your business, you're stalking him. Get a life. How do you get a life? You notice that you're being stalked, egoed, and notice where you're sitting or standing, getting in a car, a bus, walking to the kitchen, walking through the park. You know, what's going on in your head? What's going on in your head? Get present. That's how you get a life.
I feel like I'm so confused. I don't even know what is kind anymore. I feel like I can go right and left.
How can you know when you've been so fixated and tortured for so many years? 8 years?
Mm.
Yeah. So how would you know? But who are you without the thought, I want him to talk to me? Who are you without that thought? You know, without the thoughts on this worksheet, you've got a life. Go out into the world. Just look at trees. Look at the pavement. Look at your feet hitting the pavement. I did that this morning. It's a life. Gosh, my feet took me to the bathroom. That's just amazing. I didn't miss the trip. I'm present.
Mhm.
It took me to my toothbrush. I mean, life is so exciting. You just don't know where it's going to take you. And without a pass, it's the first time I've ever brushed my teeth. It's the first time I've ever walked. It's just loving life. It's loving life. It's who I am without the thought, for example.
Mhm.
Like you thought, I want him to talk to me. There's room for not only the toothbrush, but to be present with it and grateful. I mean, I go into a kind of trance, and the simplest thing, like brushing my teeth, it's because there's no past or future in it. It's just this thing. And then the I comes, I am brushing my teeth. Who am I without that thought? I'm witnessing a miracle. Life lived. Honey, I just invite you every time you
Oh,
think of him, just say, stay well, my friend, and come back to the present. Or I wish you well, my friend. He doesn't see you as a friend, but you see him as a friend. Just like, be well, my friend, or beware be well, my love, whatever it is, and brush your teeth. Do the dishes. Take a walk. Fill in a judge your neighbor worksheet. Life. You're doing it anyway, Sabina. It's just that your head is full and you're missing the life you are living.
yeah, and I'm doing it so bad, like, just not good enough. I don't know.
Well, honey, if you're still breathing, you're not in a hospital, you're not in prison, you're okay. So you are doing really, really well. Just stay on your worksheets.
And how am I violent? I really want to see that. Like,
Well, honey, how are you violent? Notice how you react when you think the thought, he should come here and talk to me. Notice all the violence in your head when you notice how you react. When you believe the thought, what happens when you believe the thought? Sabina, I'm gonna get some feedback, honey, and maybe insights from the community can bring even more light to this when they share their own experience of it. Okay. So,
Thank you so much, Katie.
oh, honey, so welcome. Dina.
Hello, Byron Katie, and hello, Sabina. And I was really moved by this. It's a very powerful session. I think Sabina is very brave. I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
think like she says, she can love herself, be proud of herself for questioning the illusion, which has got such a grip. And I mean, many years ago, when I was much younger, maybe Sabina's age, I had a similar affliction with a kind of a illusion around a relationship, and it's tough. It just grabs you, and but by some miracle, I pulled out of it. But towards the end, I just started praying that, please, God, I need to come back to my senses, because I could see from the reality from my friends that nobody was happy for what's going on. And
Yeah.
so I'm just saying that I'm praying for Sabine. I was praying during the session, and I'm quite sure that this can lift, and the beautiful mind, the beautiful reality will be back.
Yeah. Thank you, Dina. Yeah. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you. Karen. Hi, Karen.
Am I unmuted? There I go.
Yeah. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Some worksheet, huh?
Yeah, it reminds me of me. Like, I want to be right so bad on some things that I am not willing to look at the reality of what is really going on. And I felt that when Sabina was sharing, and I realized I've done that in relationships myself, where, and I realize, I'm like, well, what is it that keeps me hanging on? It's like, I don't want to be sad about it. I don't want to grieve about it. I don't want to admit that it's over. I don't want to admit that it's not going my way. And I think what you would say about all that is it's just the ego. And I have a hard time with the whole ego thing, but I just think that the grip is so tight based on the unwillingness to not look at the reality and go, oh, and it hurts and it's hard. And it's the only way to the other side, I found.
Yeah.
That's what I found. And I wish her well.
Oh, honey, thank you for those words. And yeah, like you, I hope it's, yeah, our Sabina. I don't think there's anyone on this call or in the world that hasn't been or isn't stuck in their ego. No ego, no world. So to understand the ego, to move it from our head to paper and question it, it's wakes us up from the dream. And life really is a dream, meaning life is in our head as we remember it to be or anticipate it to be, which are terms for not now.
Right.
Yeah.
It just makes me,
terms for not ever.
Right. It just makes me look at, I was thinking about it as she was sharing. It's like, where am I stuck? And I can find it. And it's not necessarily a person, but it's my thoughts that I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
And what am I unwilling to look at?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the unwillingness to get help for something that I'm stuck at.
Yeah.
And that makes me think I better get my act together.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That's Earth School. That's hopping into Earth School, and because we're in it anyway.
Right. Might as well do the best we can.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This without past and future, the illusion in past future, there's no I. So the ego has to keep it going. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't sleep. When you're asleep at night and you're not dreaming, there's no I. There's no I until we wake up and it's I am awake. The ego, there's no life without ego. And we come to see there's no life with ego. And
Well, that's for sure.
It's a dream. And in other words, either remember, anticipated, a little scary at first, and heaven on the other side of just trusting. Just judge your neighbor, write it down, and ask for questions and turn it around as a state of, as a way of meditating. It's an exercise in stillness. Karen, thank you for popping in, honey.
Thanks, Katie. It's good to see you, and I love you.
I love you, honey.
Thanks.
Wow, Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hello. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, there was so much love I was experiencing during this process. It's always a lot of love emanating in this group and coming from you, Katie, and coming from the others as well. And I think that was a gift of life today for me. I could so much relate to Sabina, and I want to explicitly say thank you, Sabina, for being so brave and so courageous. I could see how painful the process was, even though I missed the beginning. I missed the beginning of the process, but I've been in a very similar fix, and I realized that some meaningful beliefs, core beliefs we may think are path into virtue, becoming the better person, spiritually awaken, and all that can become real chains, like something like twin souls, twin flames, something like that. So what I want to say explicitly to Sabina is once one is doing the work repeatedly on such a fix, there can be a liberating moment when you least expect it. I was rejected to my face really just a few days ago, with a clarity rejected. And it was very painful, but I was really able to feel the relief and the freedom that came with it.
Oh my goodness, isn't that
It was such a, I was overwhelmed by, there was this pain, but it was like a layer lifted, like a chain dropping from me. And I was able to tell this person, thank you. And he thought I was being cynical. And I said, no, really, thank you for being so clear about it. And I could walk away. And I know without the work, I've been in the work for quite some time now in my life, but without this practice, it would have destroyed me on the spot, because this person means so much to me. So I can relate to Sabina, but I can love him. I don't need him to love me back. And I see why Sabina struggles, because she said this thought has become part of her identity. And this is also something I experienced.
Yeah, it's like, who am I without it? We don't even know.
Yeah.
And that can be really scary. And if we live the turnarounds, it gives us a life and a kind of beginning back into life as a whole other identity. It's like we're ourselves, but without the suffering.
Yeah.
And then the ego will give us our next worksheet as needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
honey.
you so much for the work, Katie. It's been a lifesaver for me in so many ways.
I'm so happy for that. Thank you, Nick. And Andrea.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Sabina. Thank you so much for the work. I have a small takeaway. What I was thinking was what came to me is the police actually protected Sabina. And it was also a way for this man to stop himself from hurting her. That's how I saw. It was a restraining order to himself.
That's beautiful, honey. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you.
And what I was also what was coming to mind was that was said at the beginning, and then we didn't go much into it, but he did have an affair. And I think right there, if it, it might have already been his answer that he didn't want the relationship the way she wanted. I don't know. I thought maybe just about that mentioning of the affair
Yeah.
is something. Yeah.
Just that other people, like Stephen, my husband, as far as I know, we're both devoted to each other. Sure, that's how I experience it. But I don't know what he's thinking and believing, and no two people live in the same world. And if he, I can't remember where I was going with it, but thank you. It just hit on something that was in my head that was meaningful, that I love is within me, even if it doesn't come out of this mouth.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, honey. My goodness. Let's see. Adriana?
Hello, thank you.
Hi,
Such an
Adriana.
honor to be in your presence and in everybody's presence. And I want to bow to Sabina's open heart and open mind, because we all see ourselves in you, and you became a mirror of love for us to embrace ourselves through it all. And in my experience, that I can see myself in you, I tend to feel very isolated and lonely, as if I was the only person that was living these type of experiences, and as if everybody else was perfect and just knowing how to play the game. And that shut me off even more, and that's my ego at work, of course. But I want to tell you, Sabina, that we are connected. We all are the same. And if I also feel very embarrassed and ashamed, of feeling what I feel, and just coming into this loving, beautiful space and sharing your inner world with us is a loving, generous gift for not only the ones who are here, but for the frequency and the vibration of life itself. So I bow to you, and by bowing to you, I bow to my pain and to my confusion, with joy and with hope, and with not hope, but with loving presence. And I am hugging you right now, and I am hugging myself in your embrace. And thank you, Byron Katie, for everything. It's amazing.
As you were sharing, I was just hearing the word mercy.
The word what?
Mercy.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi,
So
Stephanie. Your takeaway?
my takeaway today is me reflecting on, where am I violent? And every time that I want someone to act or think or say something different than what I want them, when they do something different than what I want them to do, I'm violent, because I want to force them to act, say, do, think, and feel the way I want them to. And I wouldn't be above using a slap, but I mostly use argument and my intellect and my reason I use reason to over argue someone, to overpower them. And then if that's not enough, I also raise my voice or change my tone or become sarcastic. And so these are all ways that I'm violent. And I'm just really seeing that.
Oh, honey, that is so powerful. And when that doesn't work, we take it to a whole other level. And if that doesn't work, a whole other level. And who knows where it's more painful, in what you're describing or when we're sitting in a jail cell or a psych ward. I mean, it's just, oh boy, honey, thank you for sharing that. That's wow.
Thank
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Amma.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Amma.
Hi. I had two takeaways just specifically for myself because I've felt this before, I think. One was I felt a lot of empathy for her because it seemed like she just needed closure. There was some kind of closure that didn't happen when somebody cuts us off so quickly, and it's kind of like a trauma. But in doing the work with you and other teachers, I just have learned skills because we can't expect to always get closure. I mean, especially when someone dies,
Well, if someone sends a restraining order to my house, I've got closure.
Yes, realizing that.
Kind of closure that you're talking about. It's not the same. It's not coming from that person, but it is coming from that person. They filed the complaint.
Yes. And seeing that, and I think that was an aha moment. And I also just felt, because of my own experiences, that it wasn't him that she's seeking love and acceptance from, but perhaps, the parents or some subconscious pattern that hasn't been, like maybe looked at or whatever, gets reflected onto other people or whatever.
I love when we're doing work on we're doing our worksheets, and then we go back into our childhood when things occur to us. That's like our next worksheet. It's on, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy, just we can see what we were believing as children. We're still believing now with different images and, grown bodies, not small ones. Oh my, yeah. We do the work on one thing and it shows us, when we look at how we react when we believe the thought, it shows us on tendencies that we had at 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. And yeah.
I wanted to say to you, I was thinking that I wanted to say to you, thank you, because it's been a long time, doing the work and really, really, really having the courage to look at myself and my behavior and patterns. And I've just recently, in the last 6 months, it's become automatic. When something happens, it's like, oh, and it just drops away because it's my choice, first of all, and it's just not important. It doesn't have anything to do with me. If it comes back up, oh, I can look at that. But I just, thanks a lot, because it works. And
that's so powerful. It's like you've done enough work that it's alive in you, and self-realization is lived in your everyday life. It's alive in you. These questions, without even asking them, they're alive. They're working in you like a mechanism that's in place that can meet anything the world offers up, is only as we're thinking and believing it to be.
It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. It's certainly not something we can teach anyone else, but we all have equal opportunity, and it takes an open mind. And Sabina, honey, you really were courageous today with that open mind of yours. Machine.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, honey. What is your takeaway today?
I was like, I was like, oh, I was lucky I didn't get to that step and then get an order from the court. But I related to that in my past relationships. There were a few relationships I didn't want to break up. And then I tried every way I could, try to change their mind. Back then I didn't know the work. That's a really real hell.
It's like we give them more reason to stay clear of us.
Couldn't understand this part back then. Back then just thought, why you so cold-hearted?
Yes.
And then why you so mean to me? Didn't you understand? Blah, 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 blah. And now when I look back, I realize first, it's good that they spared me.
Yeah.
They're not good for me. If current me choose, I wouldn't want to stay with them.
Yeah.
I very clearly saw what did I want back then. I want the security from them. I believed they could bring me security in life. I wanted them to give me identities that I am normal in this world. I get married and then, people would think I'm normal. So I tried to take advantage of them. Do I really love them? Now I feel like, no, I didn't know what it was love.
Yeah. We look back at our past and we think, oh my God, how did I survive that? And we owe a lot of amends to the people.
I almost did. I felt I almost did. It's how did I survive? Not sure. Life unfolded itself.
It's like by some grace, honey, here we are, by some grace.
And then when I saw her spoken with heartbroken feelings, I know that she's on the right path. And then she's lucky one. And then she had the chance to see. She didn't have to go to that far that someone even killed their lovers, right? And then now I understand it's same. So for me, I think I'm the same with her and with those people who killed their lovers. It's just life was mercy to me. It didn't happen, but it didn't mean I didn't want to do that in my heart. When other people didn't respond to me, I wanted to kill them.
Yeah. And we understand, when we understand what you're speaking to, we begin to understand why people kill other people, why people do what they do. It's that thing, if I believed what they believed, how could I not do the same? Crazy is crazy and it hurts. It hurts. And self-realization is the way out. And thank you all for joining us today. Sabina, thank you for being
bringing the work to my life.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Okay, dears. Well, thank you for something beautiful. Our time together. Thanks to your contributions. We're going to be here tomorrow morning. We have we still have space available in our second New Year's cleanse, and on January 2nd through the 4th, and that's here in Ojai at the Center for the Work, and let's see. Okay, I'll leave you with that, and the invitation to download a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on the other side of our time together. Get really still and meditatively anchor in a moment in time when you were upset, and fill in the worksheet 1 through 6, just the way we saw Sabina do it today. And then if you need a little help with self-inquiry, we'll see you tomorrow, and thank you all for something beautiful.